Hi everyone, it's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So welcome to my YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed down here below so that you get notified immediately. Or if you're joining me on my Facebook page, not my group, remember that this video will only be showing for 30 days. So I strongly suggest that you connect to YouTube, and then that way you can view the videos or search a video any which way that you want. So welcome to Technique Tuesday. This is where I do a technique. I am actually on episode number 154. Holy moly. In any event, I am excited to be able to show this technique. It is it's an expansion on another one, and I'm actually going to do a call out and ask for other techniques that you would like to see me do. Remember that this is part of a live, so if you don't like me talking to different people as we go by, what you could do is you could actually turn around and you could watch it on a replay, tell me that you're watching it on a replay, and you can scoot on by. But honestly, I truly do appreciate everybody that does join me live. So hello, France, and Andrea. Andrea, are you back from your retreat in Ontario? I'd be interested to find that out. Anyways, welcome. Like I say, I do this every Thursday, or I try to do it almost every Thursday. I'm using a set that is an online exclusive, but it's an older online exclusive, so you may have it in your repertoire. Now, the whole thing is the funny thing about this is I did try doing something else with this particular one, and I can't find that sample. That kind of happens, right? Anyways, let's go on down to my desktop. And the technique that we're doing is a Scenic floating frame technique. So this actually expands on the floating frame technique. But this one is just a little bit different, and I think you might like this. I think it's kind of neat the way that it is. You are going to need your trimmer. You're going to need some of these. Oh my goodness, where did they go to? See, sometimes I turn around and clean up stuff, and I shouldn't, and then there's times that I don't clean up stuff. So you're going to be using the foam adhesive sheets. They are a little bit higher than our dimensionals, I must say, just a fraction, but they are a little bit higher. So there's something that you should be aware of, that if you do mix the two of them, you can go from there. Hello, Jeanette. Oh, from Australia. It's wind and coldy. Oh, well, you know what? It was kind of nice here today. We're having kind of a cold, wet sort of thing, but trust me, we need that. Oh, you get back on Sunday. Well, welcome back. Anyways, so I am going to show you this. We are using the mixed florals. I think this is a beautiful set. If you love florals, we're going to be doing a bit of coloring with our Stampin' Blends. We're mixing up a whole pile of different things with this particular set. This will be going live on my Facebook group, and there is a link down there below. And it will be under the file section on there, and it'll show at 9:05 tomorrow morning Pacific time. So we're going to use this image here. It's a nice big image that we need to kind of do this particular thing. I am using a retired product, which is the Stamparatus from Stampin' Up. Don't be alarmed, because when it comes to the Stamparatus, you can use any kind of a stamp positioner. I just happen to really like this particular one, and honestly, it's awfully dirty. But I never, you can use any stamp positioner, but if I've got it, I'm going to use it. A stamp positioner is a great tool. I just don't want to invest in a non-Stampin' Up product, but that's just me. All right, so I do have, I'm going to use Calypso Coral. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. And we are also going to use some Designer Series paper. And it's very, very, oh my goodness, where did it go to? This Designer Series paper, it looks like, well, it really looks like nothing. But it's from the lovely Garden Designer Series paper, which is another online exclusive. Now, these two sheets, we're going to do double of these. They are 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to line this up right like this here. Now, I have repositional tape, When I use this big of a stamp set, I usually do not go in and use a magnet on here. I'm just using the magnet just to keep this paper down so that I know where it is. Now I'm also using Memento because I'm going to be using my Stampin' Blends. Remember that what I've done with my Memento is I have turned around and I have used, put Memento ink on here. And I've done it on a clear white, a basic white old stamping pad that you have to ink up yourself. So yeah, I just like how good it really covers. So I'm just going to ink that up. Now, the reason I am using the stamp positioner is because I want this image to be in the same spot on both of mine. Hello, Laura. So I'm just going to come here. So I hope you're feeling better. So we're just going to come in. I'm just going to make sure it's good there. Now, my Chucky, I know, is somewhere here. I might have used it during the class the other day. So I'm just actually, let's go in and I'm just going to get a bit more of an image on there. I really like how this Memento really shows up on this particular stuff. All right, so we have that. And then I'm just putting this down in the same spot. And I'd usually just mark that with a grid mark there. And we're going to come back in with the Memento. Like I say, I want it to be double. So it's just, oops, see, I've really got a lot of stuff on there. Should be okay. There we go. Good image. And I find that it works really good with inking up the Memento this way. All right, so let's just close that up because we don't want to get that all over the place. And I'll just put that off to the side. And I'll put off my Stamparatus. Now, the other thing that you are going to need is we are going to go ahead and we're going to color this. I am doing some very, very loose coloring. And it looks like I need to replace that. So we're just going to go in, color the tulips. Tulips are such a happy plant. And then I'm going to come in and let's just do some dark Daffodil Delight there as well. And like I say, I'm just doing this fairly quickly. And then I want some Calypso Coral also in there because I am using Calypso Coral onto the back. Now I looked up into my screen and this looks a lot darker on the video than really what it is. And you know what? I think it needs a tiny bit of the dark Calypso. So we're not going to put a whole lot on there. We're just going to kind of just get some, you know, I think we'll use the other side. Hello, Dolores. It's hot there. Oh, they're one of your favorite flowers? Yeah, when we were over in the Netherlands, we were there before they came out, but they're a happy plant. If you live around here, though, you don't get them very often because the deer get them. All right, so I'm just going to come in with the light, and we'll just kind of color that together and blend that in a little bit so that it's not that much showing, like the lines aren't showing. And then I also have a peach pie that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. Now, this whole image, I happen to know that I'm going to be doing something. You know what? I'm going to just put that peach pie in here, and that can kind of blend that Calypso Coral out. I was thinking the other day, I haven't done much coloring. So, yeah, I thought, oh, I should do something with coloring. So, yeah, I am going to reach out and ask for ideas. Here we go. I think I'll come back in with my peach pie. And maybe a tiny bit of, yeah, that'll be good. Oops. I know I should replace a lot of my Stampin' Blends, that's for sure. Now I am going to use light Old Olive, and I see I've got my tips mixed up, so let me fix those, and then I won't get mixed up here. All right, so I just want to do the leaves, and I'm coming in with my light Old Olive, and I'm a big one that I don't color everything. It's not necessary. Now this one goes there. Maybe I should have my glasses on. Hi, Pam. Oh, you've been there since the beginning, but I really appreciate all of you for coming in and watching. It's because of you that I keep doing these lives. So please keep. Or if you are watching on a replay, I really do appreciate it if you come in and say that you're watching on a replay. So we're just going to go where Stampin' Up's kind of got the lines in there. There's lots of things that you can do with this. We could do some highlighting with a white gel pen, but we don't have a gel pen, so. But I'll just come in. And then just to get some of this blending, I'm just coming in with the light, and we're just going to do it in circles. And I know I'm not using all of this image for this thing. Okay, and that looks not too bad. So let's just put that off. Now, for the spotlighting, what we want, not spotlighting, for this scenic frames, what we want to do is we want to cut this out. So my whole thought was, okay, let's use the Spotlight on Nature dies, figure out where we want this to go, and I think this would be a good spot. And I'm going to come in with my cut and emboss machine. And I know it doesn't show up too much. I'll go out a little bit more. See, no, let's see. Anyways, sorry, I thought that was going to take that out just a bit more. I'm just going to come with this. And I found my other stand, and I think I'm going to use that because it goes up further, and then I can do an awful lot more of this. So this is just like this. Maybe I should have had it up a bit more. And that's all we're really going to be cutting on this. We don't need this part here. So I'm just going to come. And you know what? I didn't care whether or not if this part... You know what? Maybe I do care. I'll just try to take these parts out. Excuse me. So let's just go here. Excuse me. So yeah, I better take these out. If none of them came out, I wouldn't have even bothered. Sometimes you can just run that around there. So let's see how that's going to go. There we go. All right, so it's just like this. And then what we want to do is we're going to take this. Remember, I've got this the same size. So I'm just going to come in here. And let's use a mechanical pencil. And we are just going to go ahead and draw a circle. And I'm going to go fairly dark because I want to be able to see it. And then we can, whoops, oh, that wasn't very good. And we can just erase this. Just like so. And I'm going to come in and we'll just erase this side right there. Just like that. And actually, you shouldn't see too many of these anyways. All right, so remember we're doing a floating frame. So remember the floating frame used to be just, there was never anything behind here, and this is why it's called the Scenic, because those parts are going to pop out. So then I'm going to discard this because I don't need it. I guess I could do something with it. And then I'm going to come in with my paper trimmer. And I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to the 3/8 inch line. I could have done a half an inch. It's too big. A 1/4 inch is too small, but 3/8 of an inch is just about right. So now I'm just going to cut these off, and I'm going to keep these in the same order. And again, like 3/8 of an inch. This tears, so I'm going back and forth from the center. So we're just going to keep these right in the same order here. And that part is really important. So just like that. Now, what I did this with in this other thing was I used the prairie grass, and it didn't show up as much. You really needed a darker stamped image. The prairie grass, the new prairie grass, is a very, very thin line. So like I say, I'm keeping this in the same order. And like I say, I'm going up to the 3/8 inch mark. I'm cutting that, and again, 1/2 inch just isn't enough. And one more, and up to 3/8 of an inch on this one. There we go. So now I can just move this over on my trimmer. And see, it's still all that picture on there. Okay, so then I'm just taking my pencil and just moving that over to one side. And then I'm going to come in with this. And what we're going to do is I am going to match these pieces up just with those pieces behind. So the first one I'm going to come in with, and I'm going to use glue on it. So we're just going to go line that up just like that. Now remember I said you needed the foam strips. So we're just going to come in with the foam strips, and I'm just going to take my snips, and I'm just going to cut. That's okay, I don't mind cutting that like that. And then, you know what, I think I'll cut that all off just so that it's easier to handle. And then now, what I want to do is I'm going to come in with the second piece. I'm going to put a foam strip onto the back. Now, ideally, this would have been better without the Spotlight on Nature dies because of the holes, but it works. It could be a circle, but we don't have a circle that's big enough. Okay, so then I'm coming in with the second one, and you see I'm popping that one up. So you're getting that look, and you know, I see I did this crooked. Oops. Okay, so let's put this one on there. Let's go down to here. And just down that way. And then this piece is going to have another foam strip on it, and we're probably going to have to use a couple. Now, these foam strips, like I say, are a little bit higher and a little bit bigger, taller than our dimensionals. There we go. Just going to put that right there. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then we're just going to put this on here. And this seems like a tedious process, but it's really quite easy to do. But you see how you're getting it so that it's some is bigger and some isn't. So I'm just going to come ahead and we'll glue this one down. And again, what we want to do is make sure that it lines up with those images. And this one will be all right. Put this one on there. And like I say, it's a bit of a tedious process, but it's really, I love the effect. All right, let's come here. Now, we could have done it where we didn't have to pop some of them up, but at least that gives you that illusion. And you know what? That's not close enough. Let's get that a little bit closer. And that part is the important thing, is that you've got it so that it's butted up to one another. It really kind of is. Like I say, you need a fairly thicker image. And let's go again. There, and then we have another one that's flat down, and that worked out good with this particular image, that it's all the way down, like it's flat higher, and then this one is there. Then we'll just go ahead and put that right there, and you don't see that image around there. All right, then I did want to come in, and I thought, oh, maybe I should, instead of this being so stark, is I'm going to come in with the Daffodil Delight, and we are just going to sponge or blend around the outside of this. Just so that we've got, it's taken away the starkness. And not evenly. So it's just like this. And then what we want to do is we are going to layer this onto, and look at that. It doesn't fit because it's the same size. So I'm actually going to come in and cut this off. Now, this is a little bit crooked. I wonder if I can straighten it. Do you think I could? You know, if I try that, I'm probably going to muck it up. We're not going to. So I'm just going to take off about 1/16 of an inch off each side, and probably a 1/16 of an inch on the top and bottom. Let's see. Yeah, and I think I can do it off the top, so it would be, let's, whoops, that is crooked. All right, let's go like that, and a little bit of this on here like this, this on here like this, and that's going to give me that effect that it's, and that's going to give me that effect that it's straight. How do you like that, eh? Nothing like being able to fudge it, right? There's always a way to fix it, right? So let's just put this on crooked. I froze up. And let's go there. Not sure if I did that for everybody else. Let's go there. I internet shows that it's okay there, Andrea. I know we got some stormy stuff out there. Okay, so it's just like that. And actually, I probably should have done it the opposite way, but we're okay. And then what I want to do is I am going to come in, and I think using black on there would be kind of cool with the sentiment. And I know I have lots of these strips there. What is this going to work? Because it's crooked like that, it may not work. Okay, so I'm going to come in with this Simply Said, my favorite of favorites. And I think I'll use the Thinking of You because I can turn around and I am just going to punch out a black circle. No, that won't work. 1 3/4 inch circle. There we go. My dog moved when I did that. That was smart on her part. Hopefully this will cut out the circle. Maybe it's going to be, maybe. Yeah, I still can, yeah. So let's come in here. It's just not quite big enough. So let me just grab a bit bigger piece of basic black. Oh, I found that other one. I want to show you this effect. I don't think it's as striking as this, but I will show you that. So I'm just going to come in with this circle, punch it out, because this way then I can put circle here. I'm going to come and put this on with block. And then we're going to use Versamark. Of course we are. And let's do our Thinking of You. I keep freezing and glitching. A great rap song. Or you must be watching on Facebook. Are you watching on Facebook? Been lots of complaints about Facebook. Andrea, let me know. Are you watching on Facebook or YouTube? So I'm just going to come in here. There we go. And I'm going to try something else with this to see how it would work. Let's just get that. And I do like black and that together. And then, because I absolutely love this linen thread, I just think that it's one of those ones that is, I hope they never get rid of it. Anyways, I'm just going to put this is a double. Try to get out and come back, it's good there. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it might have something to do with Facebook, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I'm just tying a double bow, and I'm having it all over the place. And then I'm putting this behind here because that's going to give that look of it being like I've looped it behind. I'm just going to put some tear and tape on there, and then we're going to put this on with dimensionals. So like I say, this will be on tomorrow at 9:05 a.m. Pacific on my Facebook group. All right. Just thought the circle would kind of just blend all in. And thinking of you right here. Or do I want it on the right? I think we want it right here. And then we have some, these are from the Perfectly Paired. Actually, let me, first of all, I'm going to come in and we're just going to do this flower on the inside, which matches the flowers here. So I'll just come in and grab that. I'll grab my memento. And I can color on the inside because I'm layering it. It's there. And I did that in peach pie and a bit of yellow. Let's just quickly color those up. You know, and I think I could put a tiny bit of green in there too. So we'll use the light. Just like so. All right, we'll put that on the inside. So this is, it's a Scenic floating frame. Like I say, the other floating frame is all really, it can be different colors, and then you put something else over top of it. So you don't have the scene behind it, but you can see where there's the scene there. Now, this has these, and these are, like I say, from the Perfectly Pairs. They're nice and shiny, and they're a low profile dot, which is why I like that. So I'm going to come in with this. Let's just put those there. Let's put another one right down here. There we go. So there's that with the inside. And you know what? I think I need to put some yellow in there because, whoops, that's not going to work. To draw that yellow to the inside so that it all corresponds. There we go. All right, so just like that, this is a Scenic floating frame. Now let me show you the other one that I used doing designer series paper behind it. So see, here's another one that it went like this. So I used that prairie grass. To me, it wasn't dark enough if it was a little bit darker, but it still worked okay. I can see where I should have cut that off, but I used that designer series paper. So, you know, like I say, it gives you a little bit different there. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's see. Remember to give me the thumbs up, share my video. I really do appreciate it when you do that. Remember that if you do live in Canada, thanks, Pam. I'd love to be your demonstrator. We just did an event last night here in Kamloops, which was a great event. We introduced Stampin' Up to a lot of different people that had never ever stamped before, and it was fun. It was a really fun night. We did lots of crafting, we did lots of talking, lots of fun, lots of laughs. Anyways, if you're interested in anything like that, just reach out to me and I can give you more of the scoop on that. Also, I will be live. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? I will not be live tomorrow. I have an afternoon class because normally I would do my mystery. I don't know when it's going to end, so I'll be back at 4:15 on Thursday with my Now What series, which I might throw in a bit of, I know what I'm going to use, so I'm excited to show you some new product that maybe got lost in the catalog. So that's 4:15 Pacific time, and remember to create